This leads to lack of trust between parents and their children. And this can, and more oftenly, it leads to broken relationships. Who would want to raise a child they cannot relate to or relate with? And who would like to raise a child that they totally don't understand what they are going to tell them, or they can't call them? Like, for example, if your daughter is called Lydia, she's in adolescence. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Achieng Opio. This is where we talk about parenting. When you join our YouTube channel, you learn, and we also get a chance to learn from you, especially when you give us your comments or share your experiences through the comments. Today we are going to talk about parenting styles. We all know that each and every one of us is doing their parenting differently, because CRT we have a manual, and it's not like we are going to just switch somewhere like tap and then the parenting automatically happens. It is something that we take a day at a time, and it is something that we have to participate in, be it whether you're a mom, whether you're a dad, sometimes house girls, sometimes uncles, aunties. We all participate in parenting. And so we have different styles. We have the authoritarian parents, we have the permissive parents, we have the neglecting parents, and then we have the authoritative parents, and then I'm going to talk about those four. The first one is the neglecting parent. That sounds to be the most common mistake, or the most common style that most parents apply. These parents are never available in the milestones that their children are taking. They don't invest. This leads to lack of trust between parents and their children. And this can, and more oftenly, it leads to broken relationships. Who would want to raise a child they cannot relate to or relate with? And who would like to raise a child that they totally don't understand what they are going to tell them, or they can't call them? Like, for example, if your daughter is called Lydia, she's in adolescence, and you can't even say, Lydia, please come, sit down, let's have a chat. Parent to parent, mom to daughter, father to daughter. As in, you guys totally can't have that relationship, because at some point you neglected your child, you were not there for them, you didn't give them the love and attention that they need, you didn't give them the affection that they needed. So that's our number one style. Then we have those parents that are authoritative. They are firm, they are loving, they encourage their children to gain independence within limit, and then they lay rules that they can work with. In this case, children will end up being able to show emotions freely, and then children can also, when things are not going well, they can talk out. There are children who never talk. I'm gonna give you a simple example of me. Like, I never ever got to know how to talk, and this is because my parents, and especially my mom, is a no-nonsense zone. He's not a person you want to go to with nonsense. I remember there's a time if you can see this very well, tulienda kutafuta kuni. So tukitafuta kuni, I was with my cousin, and my cousin, kwa sababu alikuwa na panga, a very blunt panga, but she was slashing like this, and I was busy washing my new slippers. I was very young, but I had new slippers. My mom or someone, maybe my mom or dad, I don't remember clearly who had bought them, but I had been bought new slippers, and it was a rainy season, so you know you've walked, your slippers are dirty and they are red, and so unajua zile za umoja za kitambo. Yeah, so while I was bending on some water trying to clean my slippers, my cousin let go of the panga, and it cut me here. This big alama that I have. I was bleeding so badly. I was bleeding so badly. Then there's a guy who came and said, "Can you go home uangaliwe hiyo kidonda?" Do you know what I said? You won't believe it. I told the guy that my mom will beat me up if I don't go home with firewood. The guy didn't believe it, and he told my mom. He took me home. He actually just took me home, caught my hand and pulled me by force, and I was crying. I was crying not because I was in pain, but because I thought my mom is going to beat me up kwa sababu sikuwa nimetafuta kuni. As a parent, if you don't let your children speak out, then you lose them. And then they don't grow being independent. Assuming this thing didn't cut here where everyone else was going to see and and ask, do you think I would have talked about it? Probably not. But I spoke about it because it was something so conspicuous, very visible, and anyone else would have seen it. Then we have the parents who are permissive. Those parents who are loving, no control, no rules, wako tu hapo. They permit you to do everything and anything that you want. You want to go partying? Go. You want to go out with your friends? Go. You want food? Take it. You want money? Take it. You see, they are not teaching you to be independent. Parents, you are not teaching your children to be independent because you are being permissive. That too is not good for our children. It's your child, it's your child and it's your style. Yes, we agree with all that. But one thing that I would say, or that I would want to say, is that before you pick which style you want to use, go through it. Figure it out. Is it good for your child? Are you gonna manage it? Then from there you decide, Mimi, I want to be permissive, I want to be authoritarian, I want to be authoritative, or I want to be neglecting, right? When you neglect your children and you don't create a relationship with them, ni wewe tu uta regret your situation. Then we have the authoritarians, those ones that are demanding and they don't consider the child's opinion. As in, ni wale, what I say is what works. I don't want my child to go to boarding school. I have said it. I want you to go to school. It doesn't matter if the child is being bullied in school. Your opinion as a child doesn't matter to such parents. It's their style they have chosen, and the child is also theirs. But man, is it necessary? Because then that means you're growing a gap between you and your child. Na huyu mtoto ndio wale wataenda wakutane na mtu huko nje amwambie, and by the way, I have this problem. Apewe masikio just mara moja tu, that child will just deviate, and there will be a rift created between you, pole between the two of you, most, until the child just get lost. And by the time you realize that the child is not here anymore, then you start wondering what happened. Check your style of raising the child. If you have not subscribed, guys, this is the perfect opportunity for you. Stay tuned until next time. Bye.